Hi there. So today I'm going to be demoing Microsoft Teams and a lot of the apps that come within Office 365, but we're building it around an Armed Forces Day use case. So all the preparation that goes into planning an Armed Forces Day and then actually using it on the day. So what you can see on my screen here is a tool called Microsoft Teams, and it's a place that brings together collaboration, conference calling, and all of the apps that are in Office 365 into one place for you. Now I've joined via the app that sits on my desktop. It's just the purple T at the bottom here, but you can also join via a web browser and a mobile app as well. So you've got an activity bar down the side here. So activity works like a Facebook notification. If anyone's mentioned you in anything, it will appear there. Chat is just like WhatsApp or Skype instant messaging that you might use at the minute, but there's a big difference in that messages are persistent, so you can see them long after you finish the chat, or if you restart a conversation with someone, you can see what you were talking about previously. Teams is where all your teams sit. So you can see here on just to the right of the activity bar, I've got all my teams I'm a member of. Now the teams you're a member of don't necessarily have to be your organisational team, so it doesn't have to be your chief officer team and your other chief officers. It could be a team for a project, it could be to plan an event, and you can even host externals in a team. So working with people such as the local fire and rescue, local county councils, you can have them in a closed working space where you can share documents with them. So just think of it as a space that you can spin up to get work done. Calendar is where you can join meetings. This links directly to your Outlook calendar. So if anything goes in there, it will also appear in here and vice versa. And this is where we're actually going to start our demo today. So I'm just going to join my weekly meeting to plan the Armed Forces Day Parade. I can see here I just simply have to click join, and it'll give me some options about joining the meeting. So you can see here it'll ask if I want my camera on and off, and I can switch that on and off here. I can turn my audio off if it's a very busy meeting and there's lots of people in. It actually automatically does that for you. But one really useful thing that's available is you can actually blur background. So I've sat conveniently with something behind me. So if I click this, it will just take the background away. And there's actually a new feature now available where you can put a specific image there. So you could put, say, a Wiltshire Police logo or a set background that you want to use. So really handy if you're having to join a meeting and you've got some sensitive case information that could be on a board behind you. So I'm just going to click join now to enter the meeting. Just to show you some of the functionality. At the side here we've got a chat bar. I'll turn my camera off. So this will where you can send any messages, ask any questions. You can see if you've got your camera off, it will appear with either your picture that you have on Office 365 or your name badges. And what I can do is I can actually come to this option here and start to share either my screen or window, or I can choose a specific PowerPoint slide to share. So I'll choose this one around planning the Armed Forces Day. So this is really great. If we had more people on the video call, we'll see their faces appearing at the bottom while we're speaking. So it really feels like an interactive meeting without actually having to have a face-to-face or to find a good date where everyone can get together. What I can also do is if I just click on the ellipsis here, I can click start recording. You do get a banner that appears at the top of your screen just to let everyone know they're being recorded. And what this means is if someone's away or they're starting the shift a bit later in the day, they can re-watch the recording back to quickly catch up on what's been happening. So I can now run through my meeting as usual, go through all my slides, take down any actions. If I need to jump to other areas of Teams, so if I just click on Teams at the side here, you'll notice your meeting just minimises to the top left hand side, so you can still see and hear what's going on, and I just need to click on it to jump back into my meeting. Now when I've finished my meeting, what I can do is just click on more actions. I can select stop recording, and if I just open my chat bar here, you'll be able to see we've just got a little message to say that the recording stopped and it's now saving my meeting. Now, if I was just to look at one we made earlier, so this is just a recording from when we were in Wiltshire the other day. I can see here it gives me a little title slide.
A little banner that pops up to let everyone know that they're being recorded. So no one will ever start recording the meeting and you don't know it's happening.
Joining the meeting. And one thing that it does is this is stored in one of our apps called Stream, which holds all your videos like a YouTube platform. It also actually automatically transcribes any audio that's within the meeting. So I can click closed captions, for example, and this will show me the transcription of what's been said in the meeting. Also, what I can do is if I click on this button, this will take me to my meeting in Microsoft Stream. Just need to open it in another browser here. And Microsoft Stream is where I can actually search the transcript for a certain term. So on the Armed Forces Day, I might just want to look up something that's all around parade routes. Maybe it's a couple of hour-long meeting. I don't want to watch the whole recording back. So what I can actually do is come to my recording. Let me see. There we go. Here we see. I could just then look for one bit to watch back. So if I put in cavalry, and you can see here it'll take you all the different moments where that one term was mentioned. There we go. So you can watch this either within your Teams meeting channel. This is a regular recurring meeting, so I've got all my previous recordings there, or you can access via Stream to view your recordings as well. Now we're finished with our meeting, so all I'm going to do is click hang up now. I can see here that my meeting I've just recorded is all ready to go, and I can watch that back if I want to. Here we go. That appears at the top of your screen just to let everyone know they're being recorded. There we go. So very quick time from actually finishing recording to the video being ready. So yeah, I'll just leave this meeting now. Now, one thing we talked about in the meeting that we just held online were certain actions that we wanted to take down. Now, in your meeting, you could actually have someone with their screen open doing this while it's taking place. It's what we've seen happen in other forces. And I'm just back in my Armed Forces team, and I've just got into the meetings channel. Now you can choose what you set your different channels up for. I've got just a general one for questions. I've got one that's focused around the actual parade day. And then I've got a channel just for our regular meetings and one for our finance as well. Then once I'm in my meetings channel, you can pin certain tabs at the top that link to different areas of Office 365. So you can see here all the different apps you can choose to link in. So what I've just popped in is a link to Microsoft Planner, which is where you can take basic task management down. So I just think anything that would go in a meeting minute or in an email as an action, you know, it might get lost in your inbox. It's really hard to find who is accountable for, or you end up working off a spreadsheet that people don't like to use. I can say try and put those actions into Planner. So one of the actions that came up was just to edit the master deck for the parade. I can then set a due date, and what this does is give you a reminders as your due date's approaching if you haven't completed the task yet. And I can then select members of my team who I want to be assigned to a task. And if you've got externals in your team, you can also assign them tasks too. Now when I'm ready, I can click add task. I can see it just go below there, and I can move it to a different bucket. Now I've chosen buckets for people who are involved in the Armed Forces Day. It might be the MOD or the Council, but you can choose what to name these buckets, and you can edit them as you go along. If I want to add any more detail to my task, I can come and select a label so I can help filter it down. I can mark it as urgent or important, And I can even put a checklist on there, so it might be book meeting room, review meeting minutes, and you can even attach a document that your task might relate to as well. Once you're ready, you can just click out and you can see my card's been updated here. There we go. So it's really great for managing tasks and projects. You also have this view. If I just click on charts here, this sums up all the results of your tasks. So it tells you how many are late, how many are completed and in progress. It automatically numbers how many you've got in each bucket. And pulls through how many each person has assigned to them. So I can see here PC Alex Wilbur has quite a lot of tasks assigned to them and half of them are late. So I might want to redistribute some of his tasks or just catch up with him as to why some of them are quite late. You can also add fresh tasks to this view just by coming up here. Also, while you're here too, you've got a schedule view, so you can see when you put your due dates in, when everything is appearing on schedule to happen. And again, just by clicking on a bucket here, you can add a task via a date. You can do lots of filtering on here as well, so you can narrow down by people who have tasks assigned to them. And if you click on this world option, this opens it on a web page for you, so you can view it on a bigger screen. So now I've had my task assigned and I've assigned my colleague to go update a deck. You can see you've got a files option here, and this is where you can put a full folder structure in, similar to what you have in SharePoint or SharePoint Online at the minute, and store all your documents here. So you can come to folder to reorganize it or to start a document from fresh. Now what I've actually done, because we've got a master deck that we use all the time, I can actually pin this to the top here, because it's really important. Lots of people need to know where it lives, so it just makes it super easy to find if I pin it at the top here. Now what you can do from within Teams is you can